Now, presentation of flower birds to the dais dignitaries. I request Organizing Secretary of the conference, Dr. Deepak Sharma, to please welcome the dais dignitaries with flower birds. I invite Dr. Avanish Kumar, Joint Organizing Secretary of the conference, to welcome Dr. Deepak Sharma, sir, with flower bud. And Dr. Avanish Kumar, please welcome President of the Society with flower bud. Thank you. Dear audience, thank you, Dr. Avanish. Dear audience, nature, where we actually survive, a rich variety of diverse flora and fauna, where we, the human being, work hard and thrive for the sustainability of animals, the wildlife. An era of technology where we find ways for not only conservation, but we find ways to channelize resources together with ventures for research led I.S.G.B.R.D. and DUASU to provide a platform to researchers with a mission to discuss strategies and solutions for innumerable topics, including wildlife genetics and breeding. With these words, I request Dr. P.K. Shukla, Dean, College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, to please welcome the August gathering.
Very good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor DUASU, Professor Anil Kumar Srivastava, Honorable Vice Chancellor B.I.O.SCIENCE, Agra University, Professor Ashurani ji, guest of honor for today's function, Dr. Tirtha Kumar Datta ji, Dr. P.K. Upadhyay ji, our organizing secretary, Professor Deepak Sharma, the former dean and the faculty, the former faculty of this college, Professor H.N. Singh Saab, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji, Dr. Vikas Vora, our participants, scientists, delegates, the international delegates, students, and our Jawans from S.S.B. Indeed, it's a matter of great pleasure that today we are organizing 8th International Conference jointly with the Society and Department of Animal Breeding and Genetics, College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Mathura, DUASU. It's a matter of great pleasure to host this very precious conference wherein a lot of biodiversity is there. If you look into the topic selected and the theme selected, it is very apt. Giving a little bit glimpses of the institution, the host institution, the College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Mathura, was established in the pre-independence era. To be very precise, on 16th of January 1947 as United Province College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Mathura. In 1975, it worked as a government college under Department of Animal Husbandry, Government of UP, and in 1975, with the raising of C.S.R.D. University of Agriculture and Technology, Kanpur, it became a constituent college of that university. Looking to the importance of animal husbandry, the government of Uttar Pradesh has raised this college to a cadre of university on 25th of October 2001, and the institution has been declared as university in presence of our former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and it was declared by the then Chief Minister of UP, Rajnath Singh Ji, at forever. This beautiful campus, the main campus where we are sitting, is about 750 acres, and we would have around 1400 acres of farming land, which is about 25 kilometers away from this place, near Govardhan. It is at Madhupur. This college had a very, very precious past, and still it is going on. It has a credit of starting the first degree program in Bachelor of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry in the country. And at the same time, it also has a credit to start with postgraduate and doctoral program in veterinary science in the country. Today, when we have assembled over here, it's a very beautiful season to enjoy it, as it is known in Braj that after Basant Panchami, we start the station of farm. And here in Braj, Holi is being celebrated for about 40 days. So this is the season, the Basant season, where everybody enjoys and the nature has its glory to the maximum. It's a time to enjoy colors, it's a time to enjoy the season, and it's a time to enjoy the scientific deliberations. Hope that the 2 days celebrations will churn out some important issues which will be beneficial for our policymakers who will be included in due course of time. Once again, I welcome you all to this campus. Have a beautiful memories, have a nice memories, have a comfortable stay, and then have a very fruitful scientific deliberations during the conference. Thank you. Jai Jai.
Thank you, sir, for extending a warm welcome. Now I request Dr. P.K. Upadhyay, General Secretary, I.S.G.B.R.D, to please address the audience.
Heartily pranam on dice and namaste to all. Our chief guest, Honorable VC Dr. B.R.D. of University, Agra, Professor Asuran, and our Spartan and हमारे संरक्षक प्रोफेसर के श्रीवास्तव, बीसी पंडित दीनदयाल उपाध्याय यूनिवर्सिटी चिकित्सा विज्ञान एवं गौण संस्थान, डॉक्टर शुक्ला सर, डीन कॉलेज ऑफ वेटनरी एनिमल हस्बेंड्री विभाग, डॉक्टर दीपक शर्मा, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी, and my master, Reverend Daji Padma Bhushan, distinct founder of Heartfulness. And entertainers, doctors, professors, scientists, students, scholars, faculty members, and other delegates, foreign delegates from Germany, Malaysia, Poland, Japan, and other countries. I feel privileged to inform you that Indian Society Genetics, Biotechnology Research and Development, AGRA, was established in 2005 with the motive to work on research and development of various scientific progress in the field of genetics, biotechnology, or the biosciences. And we have come this far in 2023 with the successful working for the welfare of all. The society organized 8 international conferences in the India and abroad, 5 national conferences, and 4 webinars during the COVID period, national seminars, symposia, and workshops. I feel honored to share that the journey of organization of this 8th international conference of wildlife, biosciences, biotechnology, innovations, and AVANT that genetic technology has been great, and the extreme hard work from the team, and see that their hard work has come out with a beautiful color. I wish luck to the team for the successful organization of this conference. I welcome you all to this mega event at International Conference 2023 with open heart. I hope that all the delegates present here will learn what they did, return to their place with the mind full of knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request guest of honor of the occasion, Dr. T.K. Datta, Director, Central Institute for Research in Buffalo, to address the gathering.
Very good morning to all of you. Most respected Professor Chancellor, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this esteemed university, Professor I.S.G.B.R.D, the Vice Chancellor of the AGRA University, Dr. U.P.A.D, and Dr. D.P.A.G.T.Sharma, the local organizers, Dr. Pankaj Shukla, my friend, the Dean at this university, Dr. Rajendra Kumar, ex-DG, GARDE, Dr. R.C.Agrawal, Honorable DDG Education, who is joining online, I think. All dignitaries who are attending this particular conference. I find many of my friends, including Dr. Vikas Bora from NTRI, who is attending this, dignitaries from the abroad, faculty of the Juvasu, students, press and media, ladies and gentlemen. So, first of all, let me express my thankfulness for Honorable Professor Srivastava for inviting me to be a part of you in this particular very important international conference. And we all recognize this particular university as a parent university of the veterinary science, or a parent institution of the veterinary science. And almost all who's and who of the veterinary science, particularly in the disciplines of the genetics, disciplines of the physiology, and many of them remain my teacher also. So they originally worked in this particular university. So my this observer is the University for Namankarta. Well, I will keep my address short because I find many dignitaries have to speak in this particular occasion. The main theme of this conference and the theme of the science of genetics is that how we live in a peaceful way in this particular art. In 2020, I find the census that we are 7.5 billion people. In 1900, we were 1.6 billion. So this rapid increase in the human population, and in 2030, it is going to be 9.7 billion, and probably during 2100, the end of this century, will be 10.4. So the question is, who will feed the world? And I was just looking at some data that the kind of deficit of the cereals that we are going to experience is something like 70%. The milk production in this, because I come from the dairy science, so I will be biased for the milk. The milk production has to more than double over next 25 years. The meat and the flesh, it has to increase by 140%, and the pulses by about, say, 40%. So if you add the effect of the climate change in this particular dimension, the deficit is going to be much more. So the land resource is not going to expand a lot. And similarly, the water is also going to be scarce. So under this particular scenario, how to treat the water? So probably genetics is the way, or only that we have to increase the productivity of all the food producers that we produce to keep the all bellies fed, and we live in a peace. If you look at the advent of the science of genetics, the development remains very spectacular. Just in the year 1900, the great Mendel, he gave some kind of a theoretical concept that something must be working, something must be playing role. We termed the term of the inheritance for that reason, and rapidly in next 50 years, in 1953, if I say that what are the two most important discoveries of the last century, one is certainly 1953, the double helix, or the structure of the DNA. And the second is, of course, eugenics, due to which the access to information that becomes so easy. And so beyond 2000, the genetics, it took one more dimension. And this is, we entered into a new term called the genomics, or for that reason, the omics. The omics becomes, so just today morning, I was looking at the Wikipedia on the omics. Currently, the number of omics available are more than 100. So all of us, we are trying to explain the biology or describe biology in terms of some omics. The most prominent of them are genomics, the proteomics, and the transcriptomics, and you name it, and you find a omics word for this. So some of this omics word has to survive due to their own strength. But I look at it this way, that this became possible due to the spectacular development in the bioengineering, due to which the capture of the data, that becomes easier. In terms of, we never imagined that we will be able to read maybe lakhs of the genes and their expression and their epigenetics in a single platform. And that made our life more, I must say, exciting, but more difficult also. Difficult in the sense that all this huge volume of the data, now it has to be interpreted in some gainful way. But friends, I must tell you that when we do genetics and we do any kind of this biotechnology intervention, we must keep in mind that what for it is, or what is the trait that we are, what is the character that we are trying to improve. By training, I remain an animal breeder, and I remain very aware of the terminology that Fisher, he termed or he coined maybe about 100 years back, that the characters are of two different kinds. One is called a qualitative character, and second is called a quantitative character. The qualitative characters are easy to study. For example, our coat color, or our stature, and our height, something like that. And on the other way, the quantitative traits about which we remain concerned in terms of the food production, that are governed by many genes together. So this remains a challenge, that how to coordinate them or how to do that. But one thing that happened over the years, I must say, that due to the excitement of studying the DNA, probably we have forgotten or we have kind of the study of the population genetics. This has faded. It is not an isolated phenomenon in India, but wherever I go in the world, I find that the real kind of experts in the population genetics, they are kind of fading away. And this remains a matter of concern because when you look at the behavior of a gene in an individual and the behavior of a gene in a population, so this also obeys some rule. And the classical Hardy-Weinberg law for that reason, and I can try to impress my students particularly who are joining this particular conference, that remain inclined to studying the genetics in totality. Only studying the DNA structure will give you some excitement and will reach you somewhere. But until unless we study the genes in a population, then that becomes irrelevant. And the working out the strategy becomes difficult. I must say that over the years, the computer power, this has increased tremendously. So the volume of the data that we can handle now on our computer has increased many fold. And as because the new computer programs and the cloud computing, they are coming in picture. So the studying the genetics is becoming even more easier. So in terms of the milk production, Dr. Pankaj, my friend, has already said you that we have a rare prominence in the world of being the world's highest milk producer of the world, but our productivity for the same reason remains very low, and we need to improve this productivity in terms of the plant breeding strategies and doing that. Out of that, the one particular aspect that I will tell that when we study the genomics, so the genomics has no value probably until unless we have something to correlate with, or the genomics, I must say. So with the advent of the computer science and with the electronic science, we must find new ways to redefine the characters that we are saying. It is the time for the artificial intelligence or the IoTs, and we must use all these gadgets and all these algorithms to now redefine the trade. For that reason, the milk production is no more a trade probably. So this is actually the culmination of so many things happening in the whole physiological system. And now the second terminology or the subject of your discussion is the biodiversity. I mean, we at India, particularly, we remain blessed with having a huge biodiversity. You can come into our animals or the milk-producing animals. The number of the breeds which are registered as of today is more than 200. Just the day before yesterday or the last week, I was attending a meeting at Delhi when we were designating some new breeds. And some policymakers must be attending or listening to this particular conference. I must tell you that the life supports life. That means that in this world, nothing probably happens without any reason. And if we have so many different breeds, then we need to make a strategy to conserve them. But the conservation of this huge animal biodiversity is going to be huge expensive. So along with conserving the germplasm, we must know or understand that what to conserve or what gene to conserve, because the next few decades is going to be more exciting in terms of the genetics, because we have already entered the era of the genome editing and the genetic engineering for that reason, and it will be a practice to integrate the one useful features of one particular organism to the another particular organism. So before losing the new any existing species, we must also get understanding about this the new genotypes that we must discover. But I mean, system-wise, this is complicated because the animal wealth in this country is often a state subject. So my suggestion for all state governments will be that you have a farm or have a kind of an organized system where we can conserve these animals, because only ICAR, the government of India alone cannot do it. So it has to be a people movement. Or I must say that the conserving the germplasm, it is going to be a citizen responsibility rather than an institution's responsibility. Before I end, I must say that the knowledge is money, is not that. So more and more knowledge we have, so more and more technology will probably be possible, and we will be able to make our world better. What can happen with this advent of the omics term is that the narrow boundaries of the subject matter divisions, they have started melting away. So for a university like this or a kind of academic institution, we still maintain the terminologies like the physiology, like biochemistry, like genetics and all that. But in terms of doing the research and the subject matter discipline has to melt away, and the multidisciplinary approaches has to come apart. I think the advent of the term biotechnology, it was not, we were not familiar. I still remember that in 1986, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, he brought this term of the biotechnology, and the government of India, they established a department called the Department of Biotechnology. And I was talking to you about the 200 odd breeds, but then at the same time, we say that 50% of these breeds, they are, we say, not nondescript, or we are yet to describe them properly. So this is again going to be quite some task that to define all the animal resources that we have. And we must say that the genetics is the encyclopedia of the life, or I must say that the new avenues can come only through this avenues of the genetics and the genomics. So my advice and the suggestion for the new generation, the students, would be that you must develop a habit of daring to think and be a keen observer and keep your curiosity on, and be a good researcher and try to collaborate with each other. With this much words, I say thank you once again to all of you, and thanks to Professor Master. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted and obliged to have Mr. Padma Bhushan Shri Kamlesh Patel ji as guest of honor of the occasion through virtual mode. I would like to invite Mr. Anshuman on the dais, CEO, I.S.G.B.R.D. and Chief Secretary, Dhadkan Foundation, to please introduce Daji.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm highly obliged to see all of you here in this auditorium at Dua Sumatra. Greetings of the day to respected DICE. I feel honored to welcome our special guest of honor, Daji, Shri Kamlesh D. Patel. Sir is the president of Sri Ramchandra Mission. He is the global guide of Heartfulness Meditation worldwide and founder of Heartfulness Institute Education, Heartfulness Education Trust, managing trustee of A.V.T. Spirituality Foundation. Daji is also a renowned teacher of meditation. Kamlesh D. Patel, affectionately known as Daji, was born in Gujarat, India. From his young days, he has been interested in spirituality and is now the president of Sri Ramchandra Mission, teaching heartfulness meditation to the seekers worldwide. Daji's teachings arise from his personal experience on the heartfulness path under the guidance of previous masters of heartfulness. His deep interest in meditation and his curious spirit of inquiry and respect for the world's great spiritual traditions and scientific advancements. A self-professed student of spirituality, Daji gives his time and energy to research in the field of consciousness using a practical, scientific approaches that streams from his own experience and mastery in the field. He is a vital role model for everyone wanting to evolve as a human being and expand consciousness. A spiritual catalyst displaying the perfect blend of the Eastern heart and Western mind. He is able to connect with people from all walks of life. Over to Daji.
Thank you, one and all. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. P.K. Upadhyayji, General Secretary ANA, for inviting me on this 8th International Conference of I.S.G.B.R.D. at Agra. All respected dignitaries, my heartfelt pranams to you all. I've been wondering on the very topic. It's all about science, and what a man like me from spirituality, how am I going to bridge spirituality with the science? I had been a pharmacy student. Also, I led numbers of years in doing a business in the world of pharmacy. Also, very familiar with research with which you are struggling, you with plants and animals, and we at a drug level, molecules at chemistry level. Be it as may be, but all have the fundamental connections somewhere where logic and reason prevails in the field of science. What prevails in the field of spirituality is intuition. When we think over before we hypothesize and also theorize any topic, what prevails first is the reasoning, and then logic comes into the picture and we justify based on the reasoning. And reasoning is again based on our observation. Our previous speaker said, wishing all the students to be more observant, which is the finest advice one can give to a young mind. Being observant, when we can see the relationship between various processes, why certain things happen in certain way. So we reason, and through logic we conclude something. But before we reason and before we conclude, it is the intuition that plays the biggest role in any research. When you look at lives of people, great scientists like Newton, Archimedes, Einstein, Helen Keller, all these people, they found something when they were in a different zone, in a different level of consciousness. They were all in a state of relaxation. So, my request to all the research scientists, and not just research scientists, but if you want to have real purposeful life, then one has to meditate. Without meditation, there is no go. You can make a small research, but if you want to make a big research, you must meditate. See, through meditation, we are able to tie up many missing knots. If you come to our ashram here at Kana, Hyderabad, you will notice what makes this ashram such a special place. It's sitting on 1,400 acres of extremely dry land of Mehboob Nagar. You cannot find drier landscape than this anywhere. The water, when we started, was almost 2,000 feet below. We couldn't get water. I used to request people, our satsangis, that whenever you come to the ashram, please bring 1 or 2 liters of water. And Dr. R.C. Agrawal can tell you that whenever he has visited this place, he has found this total change. Every time he came, there was a different change. And it's a lush green premises today, which is related to your topic also. Previous speaker also talked about genetics, epigenetics, genome. I'd also like to focus on epigenome and epigenetics. The role of epigenetics is so phenomenal and recognized by our sages and rishis. I give you one example, one tradition we all are familiar in India, that once a lady is pregnant, what do we do? We generally now, I mean, in earlier days before 70s, I could see in many families, respectfully, Bahu or the daughter-in-law would be sent to her Mecca, to her parents' place, after many good rituals, where she would find a better environment than the in-laws' place. Why better environment? It may not be as better or comfortable, but there will be peace. There will not be any distraction where she can be at peace with herself, with her family and environment. And why this environment and how this environment gonna change the epigenetic expression. See, when a family environment is disturbed, as the research done by Dr. Bruce Lipton in his book Biology of Belief, that in a disturbed family where the husband has to sleep with a gun under the pillow, and this is a story of one neighborhood in Brooklyn, New York, where few hundred mothers to be were analyzed, researched. They found that families where there is hostility, violence, the children that grew, they had a different neurology, they had a different body parts also, the lengthwise, the shortness of the organs also, blood supply to various organs. Where am I driving at is this very simple fact that whenever there is sympathetic stimulation or the sympathetic nervous system's stimulation, adrenaline and other stressor are released into the system. And what happens in the mother's blood? You see, when husband comes with a violent attitude, mother is always defensive. She is always trying to protect herself. In this environment of stressful situation, the blood barrier between the placenta and mother's blood will be crossed. It reaches the embryo. Embryo has nothing to do with outside, but mother's blood, which carries the stressors, also affects the embryo. As a result, what happens? The occipital brain will receive less blood supply. The brain, the back part of the brain, occipital brain, will receive more blood because this is more reactive, this is more thoughtful. So, the blood supply now decides the growth of the frontal cortex. It will be less developed. There will be, as a result, the child that is born later will have a lesser IQ, lesser ability to think, lesser ability to cognate and recognize. The limbs will be longer because in when you are responding in a sympathetic situation, either you are running or you are trying to punch someone as a security. In that case, all the blood supply goes to limbs at the cost of visceral organs. Blood supply to the lungs, livers, and digestive system will be reduced. So here is a typical situation where environment changes the expression of genes and affects a child neurologically as well as physically. Now, what happens in a better environment? Our Indian tradition has proved time and again the ancient method, ancient rituals, customs, traditions are so profound, scientifically proven also. That mother to be, when she spends time at her parents' place, is peaceful environment. As a result, the frontal cortex is very well developed. They are not reactive children, they are happy, smart, intelligent children. I'm talking by and large. When we talk of this genome and epigenome, genome can never be changed. Epigenome can be manipulated, can be changed to a large extent in human system. What happens here in an ashram when we plant a seed, when we plant a small seedling also? After planting, we sit with that. We prayerfully sit with that with around the plant and offer our prayer, provide that nurturing good vibrations. When you talk to a plant and say, I love you, and we pour water, it's enough. And later on, of course, nutritions are also fundamental thing. And in order to take advantage of many things that have come up in our research is also that when we use biocharcoal, biocharcoal provides the nutrition consistently, and it absorbs all kinds of toxins also which are not good for the plants. Anyway, use of biocharcoal as well as the seaweeds, we found excellent revolutionary results actually. What happens over the years, from my observation, I tell you, when I was visiting my own farms in my village in Gujarat, the soil level was, let us say, it was X soil level. After 10 years, when I returned from US on one of my visits to my village and visited this land, I found there was a 2 feet gap. The canal that used to be adjacent to our farms was filled up. The canal was lost altogether. It only means there was so much of erosion. Whether you notice erosion or not, it is always happening. And with erosion goes away the nutrients. And where do they go ultimately? They end up in the sea. So, to my request to all the researchers is how to get back those nutrients from the sea. It is challenging. Not everything can come back. But through cultivation of seaweeds, algae, and many other life forms that we can attract from the sea, from the oceans, can revolutionize the modern agriculture. I have lots and lots of ideas. If you all are willing to come to Kana Ashram, you can talk to Dr. R.C.Agrawal. He can share a lot about this place, that how changing the atmosphere, meaning your environment. Environment is not only temperature and humidity, where a plant feels secured. And some people might even ask, do plants have ability to feel? No doubt they have the ability of feel. Otherwise, why would that plant called touch me not cover its own leaves? Anyway, I would also like to share with you a very good thing. I mean, it's also again due to the efforts of Dr. R.C. Agrawal, where youth from many agricultural universities are coming. It's going to be an agro youth summit for UP agriculture students at Kana, and little by little we'll take up all the states. First UP, then maybe MP, maybe then northeastern states, and bring all these talents here at Kanha. We have a most modern, very exquisite tissue culture lab also. We have a deep knowledge on forestry, how forests can become more productive, more economical. Today's situation in India, by and large, as I speak, forests are in a pathetic, tragic condition. Wherever you go in any forest, there is nothing but eucalyptus or unwanted trees growing on everywhere. Anyway, if you really want to see what a forest can be in this barren land, a forest like rainforests. Can you imagine rainforest in Telangana? But yes, we are able to create that. How? By changing the environment. Epigenetic effect can bring about anything you wish. And I wish you will be able to send some of your students from UP between 17th and 19th of March at Kanha Santivanam. I feel honored and I feel grateful that you invited me. I don't know if I have contributed, but one thing before I close, I'd like to share with you my concerns on pollution. You are going to discuss, I think, during this workshop on pollution. One of the largest pollution, biggest pollution, air pollution. Second is water pollution, land pollution, noise pollution, you know, and mostly we forget the mind pollution. It is the mind pollution at an individual level that creates greedy industrialists who would pump in poisonous toxic water into undergrounds, who would be spoiling the land by mining left and right without any concerns. It is because of this mental pollution, mental disease. There is no better solution than how to correct their mindset. And mindset can be cultivated in a sattvic way only through our yogic tradition where yama and niyamas are applied, where a person becomes so conscientious through such practices that we can leave this Mother Earth better than when we saw for the first time. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Insights, blessings, and sharing your vast experience. And I am certain each one of us are benefited with the knowledge you shared. Sir, we are blessed, highly thankful to hear your precious thoughts towards nature. Now, felicitation of veteran teachers, doctors, entrepreneurs, and farmers. I request Honorable Chief Guest of the occasion to please felicitate them. So I announce the names of the veteran teachers, doctors, and farmers and request to please come forward on the dais. First of all, I feel proud to announce the name of Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Professor A.K. Srivastava. Here I read the citation and a brief profile. Professor A.K. Srivastava, distinguished dairy and animal scientist. He was chairman of Agricultural Scientist Recruitment Board, A.S.R.B., Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. Earlier, he also served as member, Animal Sciences, A.S.R.B., Director and Vice Chancellor of ICAR, NDRI, Karnal, Dean, Faculty of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Director, Resident Instructions and Dean, Postgraduate Studies, SQUAST, Jammu. He is graduate from Veterinary College, Mathura. He obtained PhD from PAU, Ludhiana and postdoctorate from Institute of Toxicology, Germany. Professor Srivastava is recipient of Doctor of Science from Veterinary University, Mathura. Veterinary University, Jabalpur and IVRI is Ratnagar. Professor Srivastava is President of National Academy of Dairy Science and Patron of Indian Dairy Association. He has been decorated with numerous prestigious awards and honors, including some most important ICAR Jawaharlal Nehru Award, International Nossel Award, National Alarism Award, and National Education Award. He has been conferred with the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Indian Society for the Study of Reproduction and Fertility. I.S.G.B.R.D. Agra is pleased to award Presidential Award to Professor Dr. A.K. Srivastava, Vice Chancellor, Duasu, Mathura, for his outstanding professional achievements. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, I request Dr. H.N. Singh, former Dean of College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, professor from the Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding to please come over the dais. Felicitation of former Dean of College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Dr. H.N. Singh, professor from the Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding. Presentation of memento and felicitation of Dr. H.N. Singh, former Dean of the College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Duwasu, Mathura. Thank you, sir. Next, I request the dais dignitaries to please felicitate respected Dean, Sir, Professor P.K. Shukla, College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry. Professor P.K. Shukla, Dean, College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Duwasu, held the position of Registrar and Dean, Postgraduate Studies, Scientific and Technical Advisor to Vice Chancellor of Duwasu. He worked as Joint Commissioner Poultry, Government of India, in Ministry of Agriculture, Department of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries, Krishi Bhavan, New Delhi. He is graduate of Veterinary College, Jabalpur. He has been decorated with numerous prestigious awards and honors, including Best Outgoing Graduate Award, Rashtrapati Award, in Scouting Lifetime Achievement Award by CLECMA. Professor Shukla is Distinguished Fellow of National Academy of Veterinary Sciences, and I.S.G.B.R.D. Agra is pleased to award Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. P.K. Shukla, Dean, College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Duwasu, Mathura, for his outstanding professional achievements. Thank you, sir. Next, I request the dais dignitaries to please felicitate eminent scientist Dr. Vikas Vohra. Sir, please come over the dais. Dr. Vikas Vohra, presently working as Principal Scientist in the Division of Animal Genetics and Breeding, I.C.B.R.D, National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal. Dr. Vohra completed his graduation from College of Veterinary Sciences, Mathura. He completed his MBSc in A.G.B. from IVRI and doctorate degree from NVRI, Karnal. Has worked in characterization of farm animal genetic resources in India and their diversity analysis. Dr. Vohra received Young Scientist Award from IAAVR. I.S.G.B.R.D. is pleased to award Eminent Scientist Award to Dr. Vikas Vohra, Principal Scientist, ICAR and DRI, Karnal, for his outstanding professional achievements. Now I request the dais dignitaries for awarding the Best Entrepreneur Award. I call upon the names. Please come over the dais. Shri Kishore Khanna, MD, Romson's Group of Industries. Shri Kishore Khanna. Best Entrepreneur Award, Shri Kishore Khanna. Shri Jeevan Dutt Sharma. Shri Jeevan Dutt Sharma. Shri Ajay Sharma is receiving Best Entrepreneur Award on behalf of Shri Kishore Khanna, MD, Romson's Group of Industries. Next, I invite Shri Jeevan Dutt Sharma, Chairman, Jagbhati Group of Companies, Agra. Shri Jeevan Dutt Sharma, Best Entrepreneur Award. I invite Shri Rajesh Garg, Managing Director, Prakash Diesels Private Limited, to come over the dais. Shri Rajesh Garg, Managing Director, Prakash Diesels Private Limited, Best Entrepreneur Award. Shri Rajesh Mangal, Chairman, Shri Kripa Implex Private Limited, Shri Kripa Impex Private Limited. Shri Rajesh Garg, Managing Director, Prakash Diesels Private Limited, receiving Best Entrepreneur Award. Shri Rajesh Mangal, he is the Chairman, Shri Kripa Impex Private Limited. Shri Rajesh Mangal. Shri Ram Mohan Kapoor, Shri Ram Mohan Kapoor, Chairman, Manoram Bajaj, Agra. Shri Ram Mohan Kapoor, Chairman, Manoram Bajaj, Agra. Felicitation and Entrepreneur of the Year Award to Shri Ram Mohan Kapoor. He is the Chairman, Manoram Bajaj, Agra. Next, I invite Shri Aslam K. Saifi, Managing Director, Modern Engineer, Infratech Private Limited, to come over the dais and receive the award, please. Shri Aslam K. Saifi, Managing Director, Modern Engineer, Infratech Private Limited. Next, I announce the Vishisht Chikitsa Samman, Dr. Naresh Sharma. Dr. Naresh Sharma, neurologist, neurophysician. On his behalf, Shri Brajesh Sharma will be receiving the award. Vishisht Chikitsa Samman, Dr. Naresh Sharma. Next, Dr. Surinder Singh Bhagor. Dr. Surinder Singh Bhagor, MD, Yashwant Hospital and Trauma Center. Dr. Surendra Singh Bhagor, MD, Yashwant Hospital and Trauma Center, receiving Vishisht Chikitsa Samman for the medical sector. Next, I invite Dr. Pankaj Nagayati. Dr. Pankaj Nagayat, Director, Genome Diagnostic, Agra. Dr. Pankaj Nagayat, Director, Genome Diagnostic, Agra. Dr. Pankaj, Director, Genome Diagnostic, Agra, receiving Vishisht Chikitsa Samman for medical sector. Thank you. Thank you all and heartiest congratulations. I request Professor Ashurani, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar University, Agra, to please address the gathering.
Thank you very much for the wonderful conference, inviting me for this very scientific conference, I must say. This is the International Conference on Wildlife, Biosciences, Biotechnological Innovations, and Genetic Technologies. I congratulate the Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding, which is in the University of Pandit Deen Upadhyay, Pashu Chikitsa Vigyan Vishwavidyalaya, एवं को अनुसंधान संस्थान here in Mathura. I also congratulate Indian Society of Genetics, Biotechnology, Research and Development, whose office is at Agra. All the senior persons sitting on the dais, Professor A.G.B.R.D, the Vice Chancellor of this university, Dr. T.K. Dr. R.K. Upadhyay, Dr. Deepak Sharma, Professor R.C.M. and Dr. Felicitation, Daji, who is now, I think, has left the conference, but yes, his address was very eye-opening. All the biotechnologists, microbiologists, plant breeders, agriculture scientists, and scientists from different industries, persons from this state, from other states, from the globe, from different countries. I welcome all of you in the city of Mathura and this university on behalf of Professor Srivastava, that such conferences are basically the conferences. These are the platforms where we can interact with each other and we can find out some ways of our problems which are existing not only in the laboratories but on the land also. Mostly the scientific investigations and the scientific research, it is being conducted, and especially when we talk about the genetics, biotechnology and microbiology and other things, they are in the laboratories. Whether it is a small university, big university, an institution, government institution or anywhere. The technological research, which is being done in laboratories, they should reach to the land. That is the basic need of the society today. We have a lot of research and research papers, but we are not trying to get the actual technological advancement, and still Indian scientists somewhere look at the developments being happened in different countries and we are adopting those countries. But that was the history. After looking at the Corona period, we can say the development of drugs and other things which has happened in India, and we have really led the world and supported the different countries of the globe just overcoming this Corona period and Corona disease. So we have the capability, but looking to the voluminous things and interdisciplinary approaches of different research, I think I have certain things which I should address today. Some recent issues which are important as far as the direct related to the topic of this conference is concerned is sustainability of all livelihood. We talk about the sustainability, I can consider that this campus is sustainable campus. But whether we get in any agriculture field, if we want about the cattle or we talk about the animals, do they have the sustainability or the sustainable livelihood? Because they can't think about themselves. We can think about our development, but animals can't think about their own development. For their development, we have to think. So that is a big issue that we have to think about their problems, agricultural productivity. We need day by day, whether it is the increase in the GDP of the country, or we talk about the supporting different countries as far as agricultural products are concerned, or the food prices is concerned. We know about all food prices and all. So India can be, if we increase our agricultural productivity, and there is a lot of challenges in front of every agriculture field, but still we have to do that. We talk about the plant health and animal health. Animal health issue is also very important, and I think this university is dealing with so many health issues of animals and vegetarian people. I salute all of you because you directly go to the field and just cure the animals who cannot tell what the problem they are having, but still you know that how to cure them. We talk about the livestock production. We talk about the animal biotechnology. Another which is important is the industries. Whether we are taking industries, increasing the number of industries, like Datta Sir was telling, the dairy and dairy product. When we talk about the dairy and dairy product, the sustainability, or you can say the lifetime of those products, that is still an issue. So how industrial-based product at a small scale, we can produce some kind of improvement in the technologies so that we can increase the lifetime of those products, and that will be another sustainable industrial products and sustainability in terms of lifetime of the food products. The preservation, this is also because being a chemist, I can say that preservation of several products, that also is very, very important to be understood. And the vulnerability due to climate change, which we can talk about the high temperature, high rainfalls, or we can take the high humidity, and sometimes the change in weather. That also is directly or indirectly affecting our agriculture product as well as the animal health and animal issues. So that also, which are affecting everything nowadays, and I think at global level also, there is a big discussions on climate change, vulnerability and sustainability, and also how we can modify and we can be resilient to meet out the challenges of the climate change. That also is a big issue, which shall be discussed in this conference. This college, not only this veterinary college or university, many other colleges, they all are working in collaboration with IARI, in collaboration with NABARD and several other people, those who are associated with this conference also. So we have to understand where we can do, at one hand, high-tech, high-end research, but in another hand, how we can connect to the society. Like Gandhi was talking about the peace and how the epigenome can be modified with the environment and the atmosphere. That is also very, very important. Unless any researcher or any institution will be connected to the society, we can't do justice with our work. We thought sometimes that yes, we are giving some skill trainings or we are giving some kind of awareness programs in our nearby society, but that is not enough. I think we have to be making some kind of proper strategic plan, like the Prime Minister and Chief Minister of the state, they are doing and they are taking, that how the society can be involved, just making the healthier atmosphere or the happy environment in our villages and in the areas where mostly the economy is based on the agriculture products and or animal husbandry or the animal products. So that is basically a very important issue. Can't we invite the global investors? I was just thinking about the investor summit which has happened in this state. And so many global investors, they have been invited in the state just to put up their some funding to improve the employability, to improve the GDP of this state. This university can give some of the research on this can also attract the global investors, because many countries, like you talk about Denmark, you talk about Norway, Poland, they all are, the complete economy is based on one hand, the technological development in dairy products, technological developments in agriculture products. So why don't we think about, or we just study the planning of those countries which are already in advance? They are taking all AI, IoT-based technologies. They are taking all what Dr. Sir was talking about, all technological advancements in the production, increase of production of their milk and some of the dairy products. So these countries, the small countries, they are really less in population. So definitely they are not having those problems which our country is having. But still, their one thing, their technological advancement in veterinary field, because we are not talking about the health of the animals. You just see the condition of the animals or the cows and buffaloes in our agriculture fields. They are in shades only, tin shades. In tin shades, they are not in a very good condition. They are in vulnerable conditions, but still we are taking their milk and just making some product or selling their milk product. To see them or to give them the healthier environment so that they are healthy, they are not having those diseases which generally they are having. To provide them a happy environment, they don't want, they still want in villages also to go for long field, which is very happy for them. I've been to Denmark, I've been to Norway and several other places, and it was astonishing to see that all the cows and buffaloes those they were having, they were very happy and healthy, and there was a charm on their face. So we have to think about them. Then only we can take up those into the industrial level productions and at higher level. The most important I have talked about was something with which I was having in my heart. But when we talk about the wildlife science, now, country, you know about Kana, you know about Gir forest, you know about several other sanctuaries, even Ranthambore is there. So many sanctuaries in the country, they are now attracting, and they are basically now the industries which are attracting tourists. So they have become the tourist industries, and those tourist industries, somewhere, they are violating some rules which are affecting the wildlife or the biodiversity in those areas, forest areas. We should be very concerned about this particular issue also, whether we need these wildlife sanctuaries to be conserved in the interest of the tourist or to increase the economic growth or you can say the industrial growth. But whether we are providing them with sufficient facility, whether it is the water for drinking, we have the proper shades for them, do we have the proper veterinary trained doctors? There may be doctors, but it should not, nothing is, all the colleges are not having all the facilities that they will be giving the practice for any related to the wildlife animals. For example, you talk about lions. It is not sure that all the veterinary doctors will be suitable for the disease curing of lions. Some different in tigers, some different in some other animals. Like near Agra, we have elephant rehabilitation center also. So similarly, we can dedicated rehabilitation centers can be more in different areas. Through this, through the learning or through the technology, I don't know much about the internal technologies or the disease curing practices which you people are doing, but still, we need more and more nearby these sanctuaries, the rehabilitation centers. Generally, the zoo people, if we have different zoos, they are taking care of different animals. So we can train more and more people just for taking these things or these animals, wildlife animals, into the rehabilitation centers when they are having any problems or this thing. Now, this is very important issue which I would like to focus, that we should have some, not only the lab technology or the lab thing, but if we want to go for technology transfer from lab to land, we need some incubation. In the universities, if we are having good incubation centers, then definitely some of our students can take up and think in this direction. If we are having some patented technology, I don't know whether we have an IPR cell or we can just think about the granting some patents to some of our students. If we can go for the patenting the technologies in the institutions, then definitely we can go for the technology transfer. We can set up an incubation center, MSME and some of the central governments, they are providing lot of fund for setting up incubation centers. If we have the incubation center, definitely our technology can be incubated there and we can go for some of the startups from this institution. That is also, I think, the NEP, you can say the Atma of NEP. NEP, National Education Policy, I think you must have adopted the National Education Policy by now. And in National Education Policy, already there is a lot of focus on skills, lot of focus on entrepreneurship, lots of focus on the incubation and startups. So I think any industry or any institution, any subject can have lot of opportunities, and we have to find out those opportunities that how we can convert our research or technology into not only the publication of paper is sufficient nowadays. If we are publishing our paper, definitely some smart persons, they will be taking the our results, they will be taking our technology and will be converting those technologies into their startups. So it is also necessary to understand that how we can conserve our intellect and how we can file our patents and convert our technology and whatever we are thinking into the actual incubation or a startup, and that will definitely be boosting the employment and different kind of employment from this institution. If you take the genetic engineering and awareness among the society, two different things. One, we talk about high-end research, changing the gene, changing the DNA sequencing, just going for the genetic engineering. But if we are not educating our society, we will not be successful. The most important part, along with the engineering, genetic engineering, biotechnological advancement, or the microbiological advancement, the most important is if we talk about the wildlife, we talk about the animals or agriculture, the society learning is also very, very important. I think only the students of this university or similar kind of subjects, they are being educated in different areas. Now this is the time that there should be intermixing of subjects. We should be focusing and inviting people from other disciplines, and we should invite in such conferences also students of different subjects so that they may understand, they may know that how they can contribute and mutually do multidisciplinary research, multidisciplinary developments, then only we will be including larger part of the society with us and larger part of the society to be including in the research and development. Because individually, if we are doing research, that will not be successful unless we have a consortium of different subjects. So it is very, very important to make other people, like the students from Department of Chemistry, the students from pharmacy, students from some other, not only of this university, but from other universities also, to be invited in such conferences so that they may also understand a different part which they are not learning, but it is very, very important that Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for updating the mass with the key points envisaging agricultural productivity, climate change, animal health issues, and appreciating veterinarians' role in the society. Next is felicitation of the dais dignitaries as a token of remembrance. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir Professor A.K.Srivastava to please present a memento to Honorable Chief Guest of the occasion Professor I.S.G.B.R.D, Vice Chancellor Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University. Felicitation and presentation of memento as a token of love and remembrance. I request you, sir, to please present a memento to Dr. T.K. Datta, guest of honor of the occasion. Felicitation, Dr. T.K. Datta, guest of honor of the occasion. Thank you, sir. I request Dean, sir, Professor P.K. Shukla, to please present a memento to Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Felicitation of Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and presentation of memento by respected Dean, sir, College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry to us. Now I request, thank you, sir. Now I request Organizing Secretary of the conference, Dr. Deepak Sharma, sir, to please present a memento to Dean, sir. Felicitation and presentation of memento to Dean, sir, by Organizing Secretary of the conference. Thank you, sir. Next is release of souvenir, pen drive, and CD of the 8th International Conference on Wildlife Bioscience, Biotechnological Innovations, and Avant-Garde Genetic Technologies. I request the dais dignitaries to please release the compilation of scientific abstracts from researchers of various institutes in the e-form, pen drive, and CD. Release of souvenir. Release of book by the dais dignitaries of the 8th International Conference
of Book of Biotechnology written by Dr. P.K. Upadhyay, sir.
The book release written by Dr. Upadhyay, General Secretary of the Society.
We have another book on statistics, analysis of statistics, written by Dr. I.S.G.B.R.D, sir, Assistant Professor at Pandit Dinyal Upadhyay University and Pashu Chikitsa Vigyan Vishwavidyalaya and Gaur Sandhan Sansthan. A huge round of applause for this book as well. Dr. I.S.G.B.R.D, sir.
Thank you. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, please address the gathering.
Well, friends, very good afternoon to all of you. Professor I.S.G.B.R.D, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Agra University, Chief Guest of the today's function, Dr. P.K. Datta, my valuable colleague, Director of CIRP, Guest of Honor, Dr. P.K. Upadhyay, Dr. P.K. Shukla, Dr. Deepak Sharma, sharing the dais with us. I have very good participants from international countries. Professor Manfred Kurd from Germany. If he is here, kindly, yes, Professor, heartiest welcome to you. As a Vice Chancellor, I extend my heartiest welcome in this campus. Professor Ulrich Berg from Germany. Ulrich, heartiest welcome to this conference. Professor Taikun Sinan from Japan. Welcome, Professor Taikun. Dr. Abdul Shukar bin Abdul Razak from Malaysia. Welcome, Professor, in this campus. Dr. Zainal Abidini bin Bakar from Malaysia. Welcome, Professor. Then we have from India, Sri Jagramji, Sangathan Mantri. Yes, he's here. Yes, I can see he's here. And then Dr. Rajkumar Sharma ji. Welcome, Rajkumar ji, in this hall. Welcome. Thank you very much. Dr. R.N. Sharma, my friend, Dr. Professor Rajendra Kumar, former DG of the UPAR, and he was very supportive to the university when this university was formed. My colleague, Dr. from NDRI, Dr. B.I.S.C.B.R.D, Dean's Director, faculty members of this university, participants, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon to all of you. SSB के हमारे जितने जो ऑफिसर जवान हैं, बहुत बहुत आपका स्वागत है। मैं अभी तक यही सोच रहा था कि हम आपको बैठा के क्यों बोल कर रहे हैं, साइंस जेनेटिक्स की बातें करते हैं। अंधकाश का अपने 5-7 जो हमारे बाहर के फॉरेनर्स हैं, हम थोड़ा सा आपको भी समझाएंगे कि क्या मतलब है जेनेटिक्स का, क्या मतलब है, कैसे करते हैं। फ्रेंड्स, this is a very good occasion that at Dubasu Mathura we are organizing an international conference of 2 days, and where we will be talking about the genetics, about the biotechnology, about the biosciences, which will lead us in the future. My colleague Dr. Datta said that the bigger challenge to us is how to feed the ever-increasing population. 140 million. In 2027, our population will surpass the China population, and we will be at number 1 in the world. And in that, our genetics biotechnological tools will help to fit. That is a very crux of the story, that all the genetics, all the biotechnology, all the biosciences we are doing so that we can feed the ever-increasing population of the country, either through crop science, either through livestock, either through any means. Wildlife is an untouched field as far as genetics is concerned. Yes, we know some extent that what is in the wildlife. For example, if we say that in human being there are 23 pairs of the chromosomes, then in wildlife, different wild animals are having different pairs of chromosomes. For example, if you see the dogs having very high, 31. If you talk about the elephant, 28 pairs. If you talk about the lion, 19 pairs. So this is the genetical difference between wildlife as well as human. That is the one aspect. But in very simpler term, to my SSB Jawan, I tell you that what is the genetics? Genetics kya hai? Everyone talks that I have genetics from my father. I have genetics from my parents. Genetics means our body is, English mein aap sab log comfortable hai? Our body is made up of thousands, trillion of the cells. Chote cells. And in that cell, that is the cell size, and in that cell there is a nucleus, and rest is cytoplasm. In nucleus, there is some genetic material, which we call as a message carrying molecule. वो जेनेटिक न्यूक्लियस में जो कुछ है वो हमारी जेनेटिक्स डिसाइड करती है, जिसको हम डीएनए कहते हैं. एक डीएनए ऐसे होता है, और there is a protein that we call as histone. For this histone, it is surrounded like this, that we call as chromosomes. So we are having 23 pairs of chromosomes in one cell. We say that chimpanzee, gorilla, they are very near to human being. Why? Because they are having 24 pairs of chromosomes, very near to human being. Elephant, 28. Donkey is very large. So, if anything is to happen, then what will happen? That message will come from the nucleus in the form of messenger RNA, that DNA will be split. The message will come from the nucleus that yes, this is going to happen, you have to do like this. Then messenger RNA come out of the nucleus in the cytoplasm. There are ribosomes, there are RNA, and based on the message, the specific protein will be synthesized. So this is the whole crux of the your molecular biology, your biotechnology, your biosciences. This is the central dogma of biotechnology, what we see. That a message comes from the nucleus, and based on the message which messenger RNA is carrying in the cytoplasm, a specific protein will be synthesized, and that specific protein will carry the job for which message is coming from the center, from the nucleus. Epigenetics was taught by Dr. Datta very nicely. Epigenetics means over and above than genetics, top of the genetics. GARDE also talked about the genetics, that it is not the genetics only which is going to affect us. Epigenetics is more important than genetics. In which surroundings we are living, what is our habit, what we are drinking, what we are eating, what we are thinking, our lifestyle, that can change even the genetics. That's why I always say that if we are not giving good food to our pregnant mothers and to the newly born children for 2 years, they will be epigenetically exposed to syndromes disease, to the diabetes, hypertension, and dyslipidemia. So genetics is one aspect that is going to affect our life. Epigenetics is even more important than the genetics. All the biosciences which we are seeing today, it is the impact of either incidental research or a very planned research. Incidental research, I tell you a very good example. In Italy, there was a river where there near the river there was a plant. और जो क्लोरोक्वीन हम लोग लेते हैं एंटी मलेरियल ड्रग क्लोरोक्वीन, the plant was there, the leaves used to fall there, and it was seen that if someone is suffering with malaria, then you drink that water and then malaria is cured. Then we started thinking very systematically that what is this in the water? Then we found that no, it's not the water, it is the leaves. And then we started working that yes, it is the chloroquine molecule in the plant which we used in the treatment of the malaria. Similarly, atropa belladonna. The dancer used to put a drop of atropa belladonna, atropine, in the eyes so that the eyes people are dilated and they are performing the dance on the stage. That was used for this purpose. But later on we found that no, this is atropine, this is the most important drug for an ophthalmologist. Penicillin was discovered incidentally. A scientist was working on the microorganisms. He was growing the microorganisms, and then one day he came and he saw that in one area the microorganism is not growing, it is not grown. And then he found that, oh, in this area there was a fungus which contaminated. And then the fungus was isolated, that it is a Penicillium notatum or Penicillium chrysogenium, and then we isolated the antibiotic penicillin from those fungus. So it is all biotechnological research, all biosciences came from either incident or from a planned study. The most planned study in the history of science till date is to study the human genomics. The complete genomics, complete gene of human being now we are having. And this was one of the most planned study that has been done in collaboration with several scientists, several countries, several laboratories. And the results are wonderful that we are enjoying today. In livestock sector, friends, yes, genetics has to play the most important role. You may remember that 30 years before, when our animals were giving less milk, then we started cross-breeding program. We took the genetics material from abroad, Holstein Friesian breed, and we introduced the new genetics and we cross-bred our animal. So now the animal is giving good milk. This was our research. And now we are saying that no, our indigenous animal was very good. It is A2 milk, and now this cross-bred milk is A1 milk. It is not good milk, but it is a milk. Don't go on that. All milk are equally good. Either milk of desi animal or milk of crossbred animal, both are equally good. Or milk of buffalo or milk of goat, they are all equally good. So sometimes, because of over enthusiasm, we do changes in the genetics, and later on we say that no, it's not good. In crop sciences, through genetic modification, we were having starvation in 60s. And I always say that in 66, we imported only 10 million tons of the wheat from US to India. Whole world was looking India as a nation from ship to mouth. But today, because of the genetics, because of the plant breeding, we are not only sufficient, we are surplus. That is the genetic modification, bringing the dwarf variety of the wheat. But now we are suffering that, yes, because bringing up the dwarf variety, the total biomass, जिसे हम भूसा कहते हैं, there is a shortage of total biomass for the animal. So few challenges that we have to address in our future in the livestock sector. But those who are having the livestock background, I will always say that yes, cross-breeding program means integration of exotic germ plasm in dairy animals will continue, but we will not use our identified breed, 53 breeds for crossbreeding program. We will use our non-descript animal for our crossbreeding program. In human genetics, simple example, why a tablet of paracetamol is very effective in one man, but it is not effective at all in other person. This is the bioscience of your own one cell. Means how your cell is behaving to the drugs, that is the more important. And then we know that pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics, when we give any drug, how it is absorbed, how it is reaching to the site of action, how it is metabolized, how it is excreted. That varies from individual to individual. Pharmacodynamics means if you take a drug, it is having a separate response in you. Some doctors are thinking that morphine, means it is a sedative. Morphine is a best analgesic in human being. But if you give a cat, it is a very strong stimulant. After giving a small dose of morphine, we find that cats are jumping from one place to another place. This is the genetics. So different effect with the same drug, that will be called as genetics. But now through research, we have seen that morphine is also a sedative in the cat also. We have modified the molecules, we have changed the molecules which are responsible for causing the stimulation. So in nutshell, what I want to say, friends, that yes, genetics is very important for human, for animal. Epigenetics, which we say that on top of the genetics, is more important. Having a good genetics is not a license that you will be a good human being. Having a good genetics in animals is not a license that he will produce or she will produce good milk or good germplasm. Where you are living, maintenance, what you are eating, what is your lifestyle is going to influence your genetics also. Wildlife, not much explored as far as genetics is concerned. Our breeders are sitting, animal breeder, Dr. I.S.G.B.R.D is here. Bigger challenge which we are facing at present in the wildlife is that inbreeding program. That is the bigger challenge. How to go beyond this, how to correct the inbreeding, for example in lion, let us see in the lion. 1 male, 20 female. Again then 1 male, 20 female, 30 female. So that will deteriorate the health condition of the offspring. That is the biggest challenge of the wildlife, of the inbreeding program. In human being, certainly in some society these problems are existing. Inbreeding program, that we have to see that if we really want to be healthy, if we really want to see that how it can be cured. Otherwise, friends, the biosciences, biogenetics, we can use best way for fortification of our food. Today, WHO says that India is capital of diabetes. 2/3 of the diabetic patients are in India. This is not because of the genetics. This is because of the epigenetics. Every year, 12.6 lakhs people die because of only cardiovascular diseases. This is not because of genetics. This is because of the epigenetics. That we can correct by fortifying our food. By biofortification or by fortification after the food is found. For example, we have developed a lot of technology at National Dairy Research Institute, fortification of milk. I always say that milk is the best food. No match as far as nutrition is concerned for milk with any food. It has everything. 19 out of 22 essential nutrients milk is having. Milk lacks only one thing, that is the iron and vitamin C. If we can fortify iron and vitamin C, it will be wonderful. We have developed the technology in packaging. For example, in packaging, there are nanomolecules of the antibiotics and there are biosensors. If your food is going to spoil, and then it will send a sense to the packaging material, and then antibiotic will be released and it will take care. So all biotechnology, biotechniques can be used in food fortification, food packaging, so that we can continue to our population in future. I don't want to keep you very long because it is already 1:30, which was scheduled to finish by 11:30. But if time permits, we can discuss more during validatory function or during the session time. In a very simpler term, that what is the genetics, how it is impacting our life, what we can do. That is the best way to understand the genetics. Otherwise, there are very good scientists, they will be speaking on their specific topics. You all will be benefited. Our organizers must have arranged good accommodation, good transportation, good boarding lodging. And please bear with us if there is any likelihood. Enjoy your stay, 2 days stay in Mathura, both academically as well as socially. And I'm sure that you will be enriched when you leave this campus. Wish you all the best. I wish a very great success of the conference. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for the inspirational knowledge sharing through this platform and refreshing the topic in a nutshell. Indeed, sharing history of research carried out in past made it more interesting. Thank you, sir. I request Organizing Secretary to please extend vote of thanks.
Respected chief guests and guests of honor of today's events, Honorable VC Sir, worthy Dean, College of Veterinary Science, officers of the universities, senior faculty member, office bearer of I.S.G.B.R.D, student, and all the esteemed delegates from various countries, delegates from India, friends from press and media, and ladies and gentlemen. On the behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for gracing the 8th International Conference on Wildlife, Bioscience, Biotechnological Innovation, and Avant-Garde Genetic Technologies. With your esteemed presence, this conference was jointly organized by Department of Animal Genetics and Breeding, College of Veterinary Science, and the Indian Society of Genetics, Biotechnology Research and Development, Agra. I feel honored to propose this vote of thanks on the behalf of Dulwasi Mathura, and on my own behalf. We are happy and grateful for successful inauguration of this 2 days international conference. This could not be possible without blessing of our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor A.K. who is the alumni of the college and most decorated veterinarian of the India. Sir, I was your blessing and guidance that lead the organization of this event. We are grateful to our chief guest, Professor Ashurani and Anshurani, BC, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, University Agra. Ma'am, thankful for sparing your valuable time for us and gracing this function. On the behalf of organizing committee, I convey my deep regards and hearty thanks to our guest of honor, Dr. T.K. Datta, Director, Central Institute of Research on Buffalo, CIRB, Hisar. Sir, I feel proud and thankful to you for making this event successful. Your presence and valuable insight have truly been an asset to this event. My sincere thanks to Dr. I.S.G.B.R.D and Padam Bhushan Shri Kamlesh Patel ji, Daji, for his online presence during this conference. We are heartily thankful for sparing your valuable time and your blessing for us. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Bharti Dean, Sir, College of Veterinary Science, Professor P.K. Shukla, Sir, for providing their support and guidance for organizing this program. Sir, you have been a source of inspiration, hope, and motivation, guiding us whenever we face any difficulty. I must also thank Professor P.K. Upadhyay, General Secretary, Indian Society of Genetics, Biotechnology Research and Development, and his team for providing their constant support for organizing this program. I would like to thank the chairman and member of the various committee for providing their untiring effort for successful organization of this program. I would like to express my deep thanks and gratitude to all the members of the organizing committee, especially Sri Rakesh Goyal, Dr. S.P. Singh and Dr. Amish Kumar, who would work hard to successfully manage various aspects of the organization of this conference. I would like to express my gratitude for Professor H.N. Singh, former Dean of this college, for his blessing. I also thankful for our print and electronic press media friends for covering this conference. I also profoundly thank the most important delegates which are arrived to the land of Lord Krishna from various parts of globe of this conference, without whom this conference would have no meaning. Last but not least, I would like to enclose the support and guidance of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, the Dean of the College of Veterinary Science, different deans and directors of the university, and the faculty members of College of Veterinary Science for their constant support and dedication in making this event reality. Once again, I would like to thank each and everyone. I am very grateful for giving me this opportunity. With sincere feeling and gratitude, I would like to take your leave. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Let's join in for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हिंद भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हिंद भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you all. The inaugural session is over now. Everybody is invited for high tea outside the auditorium. And soon after the refreshment, please reassemble for the technical session in the auditorium and the head building. Thank you all.